The internet, a vast expanse of endless information.
All aboard the toxic gossip train.
Tragic loss of all. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Ranging from quantum computing to oddly specific WikiHow articles like How to Catch Ghosts or What does What's Cooking Good Looking mean, plus how to apply, with pictures under the flirting category. Huh, interesting. Well, clearly the internet is full of information, but how does it work? How is it stored? And more importantly, when did it start? Let's talk about that. So, first, I'd like to break down how exactly a website works. What is the magic trick behind how you're able to click on this video and start watching? Well, in case it wasn't obvious, the internet doesn't live on your computer. When you type YouTube into the Google search box, the videos that appear on the homepage aren't stored locally on every device you own, but instead live on servers miles away in Google server farms. So instead of grabbing this video from your files folder, your browser or YouTube app on your phone is sending what's called a request to YouTube to receive a response in the form of video. In this case, your browser device is the client, an internet-connected device that wants something from the server. The server is a computer that stores the web pages, sites, and apps that you access every day. When you click on this video, a copy of the web page displaying the video is sent to the client, your phone, and is displayed all nice and pretty. Think of it like this. Imagine the internet as a busy city. Your computer, any device you're using to access the internet, is your home within this city. The internet connection your device has are the streets that connect buildings to one another. Now, suppose you want to visit a friend's house. You won't just start walking aimlessly, right? You'll need their address. Your friend's house, in this case, is the server where the website you want to access is stored. The address you need is what we call a URL, or a domain name. And this is where DNS, or Domain Name System, comes in. Think of DNS as your city's phone book. When you type in the website's URL, the DNS translates that into an IP address, which is like the precise coordinates of your friend's house. Now that you have the address, you need a way to get there, right? This is where HTTP, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol, comes in. HTTP is like your bike. It's enabling you to travel across the city. It takes the request from your home, client in this case, and brings you to your friend's house, server. You knock on the door, requesting to come in, and your friend opens the door, responding to the request. So in a nutshell, browsing the internet is basically like living in the city. The internet connecting all these servers and devices together. DNS as the phone book, HTTP as your way to get around, and your requests and responses as your way to go in and out of buildings. Pretty simple, right? There are a couple other things to consider that I think you should know, so I'm going to break them down in simple terms. So, how are dynamic web pages, static web pages, and websites even different from one another? A web page refers to a document that is included in the response from the server and provides hypertext and hyperlinks. These are interpreted by your browser's tools to present the web page's content to you. A static web page is delivered exactly as stored. It's web content in the web server's file system. Nothing is changed and every user receives it the same way. In contrast, a dynamic web page is generated by a web application, usually driven by server-side software. Dynamic web pages are used when each user may require completely different information. For example, bank websites, web email, even YouTube, when it comes to recommended videos. A website is a collection of related web sources, including web pages, multimedia content, and it's typically identified with a common domain name. That's where the www is. It's published on at least one web server. YouTube, published on a web server. My Apps, published on a web server. Notable examples are Wikipedia, Google, and Amazon.com. Web pages are the building blocks to these websites, and they provide links that allow you to hyperlink to other web pages hosted on the site. It's built on a structure, right? So YouTube.com is the website, and every link you click takes you to a different web page on the site. The way the web is structured and designed is really cool. Kind of hard to believe that this method of accessing information so rapidly was first pitched in 1989. Let's dive into a little history lesson.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
Today, we're going to be showing our friends Andrew and Lisa the basics of the internet, and we thought you might want to come along.
The internet gave us a whole world of exciting new possibilities. So I guess this is a story of how it changed our lives. Maybe it will yours too.
The World Wide Web was first invented in 1989 by the British scientist Tim Berners-Lee, working at CERN labs. At CERN, scientists who work closely needed a way to share information more easily and efficiently with the many universities and institutions that they worked with. The web was meant to serve as a means of merging computers, networks, and hypertext into a global information system. The first server and browser was up and running on a Next computer in 1990 in a small room in CERN labs. The world's first website was called info.cern.ch. It's a website that you can actually still visit today if you want to visit the first website ever developed and hosted. This page contained links to information about the www project itself, including a description of hypertext, technical details for creating a web server, and links to other web servers as they became available. This is what allowed users to begin making their own web servers to connect. Back then, however, only a few people actually had access to these Next computers, but development for a simpler browser called Line Mode that could be ported to different operating systems and allowing other computer systems to access the web was created a year later. In this same year, Berners-Lee released his www software. It included the Line Mode browser, a web server software, and a library for developers. This then led to the US's first web server, which came online in December of that year at a particle physics lab at Stanford in California. The only browsers available at the time was the original, only accessible by Next computers, and the less powerful inline browser. This is what led to the world coming together to start developing more ways to make the web accessible. In 1993, the National Center for Supercomputing Applications at the University of Illinois released a first version of its Mosaic browser. This browser ran on the X Windows system, which was widely used by computers involved in the research at the time, and the NCSA then released versions for PC and Mac only shortly after. This accessibility of the web led to a massive spread of the www.
Just what is this main artery of the information superhighway?
Every business, no matter how large and no matter how small, will be on the internet in the year 2000.
In April of 1993, CERN made the source code of World Wide Web royalty-free. This meant that it was free to use. Only shortly in that same year, there were over 500 known web servers. Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark then founded Netscape the following year and released the Navigator browser, which introduced Java and JavaScript to the web. This then became the most popular browser, as it allowed for several more functions. Netscape became a public company in 1995, and it set off what would become the dot-com bubble. Microsoft responded by developing its own browser, Internet Explorer, and started the browsing wars. By bundling up with Windows, it became the dominant browser for over 14 years. The next year, as stories spread about the web, the second ever World Wide Web conference was held. It was attended by 13,000 people. This was a drastic change to the previous year, which only had 380 people attending. It was held in the US in October and was organized by the NCSA and the newly formed International WWW Conference Committee. By the end of 1994, the web had 10,000 servers, 2,000 of which were commercial, and 10 million users. The internet traffic to the World Wide Web was equal to shipping the entire collected works of Shakespeare every second. Soon, e-commerce tools, security tools were added. What started as a way for developers and scientists to more easily share information became the thing we know it is today, a place where you can learn, develop, play games with others, entertain yourself, and most importantly, find out how to begin people watching. Oh, okay, so find an area I want to watch. Oh, bring a friend. Yeah, make sure to have those. Avoid flashy outfits? Wait. Dang it. Oh, of course. Be sure to listen to people as they're having private conversations. That's always nice to do. Well, next time you log onto the web to chat with a friend, buy something online, or look up some weird and obscure thing, thank Tim Berners-Lee and the fantastic developers at CERN Labs who engineered the building blocks of the web. But also be sure to thank the countless developers who heard Lee's call to come together and develop more browsers to port to other systems. It would have been insane if just one team was responsible for the web that we know today. This is something I view as critical to any development industry. They need to collaborate. When companies are butting heads and starting browser wars, less is going to be innovated and developed. But CERN made the right decision in launching the source code for the web royalty-free back in 1993. this decision was a turning point in expanding the potential of the World Wide Web. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next video, I'm going to dive more into the core programming languages that actually make up a website. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So be on the lookout for that one. And yeah, this was really fun. Hope you guys learned something new. And I'll catch you in the next one.